Hi guys, so I'm going to reteach our text features because we had a pretty difficult time with it yesterday. A lot of people did not do very good. And remember, our text features are like the table of contents, different things that you can look at in the book or that the author puts in the book or the chapter to help you understand like different things. So that might be like what's important. It might be a bold print word because it's darker than the others, things like that. So you can go ahead and get out your page 1.4a to look at because you should probably be looking at that if you're redoing this because you did not do very good on the other one if you are having to do this lesson. So on 1.4a, you should have a chart that looks kind of like this one that I showed you yesterday when we taught it. Okay, so I'm going to go through and I'm going to read you what each text feature means. You can also look back at 1.4a when you do this on your own because you're going to do 5.2 again. And if that means that you have to do it on Kami, you can do it on Kami if you already did it on paper, or you can erase your paper and redo it on paper and send me a picture of it. But just know that you should probably be redoing it. So if you think, oh, I already did this, I'm not going to try, I'm not going to listen, there's probably a reason that you are assigned this assignment because I did not assign it to everybody. So make sure that you're listening when I tell you what each text feature means so that you can do really good on this one because I have to take this one for a grade. So the table of contents gives the reader an overview of what texts are in the reader and where to find them. So the table of contents is where you go to. It's usually at the beginning of the book, and you can look and see, okay, I want to read chapter 5. Where do I need to go? Where do I need to look? Oh, there's chapter 5. It says it's on page 12. Okay, that's where I go. That's where I find the chapter. The heading gives the reader information about key topics in a text. So the heading is usually underlined. It's usually at the top of of like a paragraph. And it usually tells you what the paragraph's going to be about or what the writing under it is going to be about. So it's usually at the top. It's usually in bold print and underlined. It doesn't always have to be underlined, but it's usually bolded. And it usually is at the top of words and telling you this is what this text is going to be about. Okay, bold print words, they show important words or concepts in the reading. So they're the words that when you're reading along, everything's just regular print and nothing's bold, and then all of a sudden, bam, there's a big, bold, dark printed word. That is what the bold printed words are. So when we're going to talk about it a little bit more, but when you do 5.2 later, even if it might be bold printed, it doesn't necessarily mean that that is the answer for bold print words. They're going to make it very obvious that this is the answer for bold print words. So we'll talk about that some more in a minute. Photo and captions. Photos visually show you what the text is about and the caption describes it. So that's when you have a picture and usually some words under it telling you what's happening in the picture. A chart summarizes information that is in the reader. A map shows specific areas that are talked about in the text. And then the glossary gives you the definition of unknown words. So the glossary is going to give you the word, and then it's going to tell you this is what the word means. Okay, so it's the word and then the definition, the word and then telling you what it means. It's usually at the back of the book. A diagram labels the parts of something discussed in the text. The diagram usually has arrows pointing to different things. It's labeling specific parts of it. It's going to look kind of like a picture or a chart, but it's going to have arrows kind of pointing you to where different things are. Okay, so I know it's harder to see these pictures, and I might move the Chromebook if that doesn't freak anybody out too much. We'll see, but I have made all these, and we're going to use them in class tomorrow when we redo it too. They're just a little bit hard to see on the Chromebook, so we're going to do the best we can. Let me grab my marker. Okay, we're going to start up here. This word is clearly in bold print, right? Yeah, it's also underlined, and it's by itself. So yes, it is bold print words, but it's underlined. So that tells me that maybe it's for something else like the heading. So that line under it tells me that maybe this might be the heading. If I'm not 100% sure, I can wait and go back to that one. So I'm going to look. Does it look like there's any more that have bold print words in them? Yes, it does. So this one kind of looks like it has bold print words in it, but it has some more writing with it, and it kind of looks like it's giving the definition of something. So I'm going to guess that's probably not my answer for bold print words. This one says animal with a word that's not bold print, and then kingdom with a word that is bold print. I cannot think of any other reason why they would do this besides to show me what bold print looks like. So this one is probably my bold print words, and I'm going to put bold print words. Okay. Next, so then that shows me that since that was bold print words, this one is probably heading, right? It's what would be at the top to tell me what the text is about. Okay. So then this one's says H, habitat, a place where plants or animals live and grow, habitats. Well, that's giving me the definition of something, and I know that the glossary is where I can go to look for the definition of something. So I say that's probably the glossary. Okay, now I have two pictures that look kind of the same. This one has arrows that are kind of pointing to different parts of the flower and labeling it. This one just has a picture and then some words under it telling me about the picture. Well, I know that the photo and caption just has a picture and then words under it telling me what's happening in the picture. That's the photo and the caption. I know that definition because I'm looking at 1.4a in my workbook. Okay, so this one has arrows pointing to it. It seems like it's maybe labeling something in the picture or trying to show me by pointing things out that were maybe talked about when I was reading, and now they're showing me in this picture. I know that diagrams usually have arrows and usually point things out, so I think this is the diagram. Now this is my only one left. This one says the chapter and then the name, and then it has a number next to it. That's probably telling me where I can find those chapters in the reading. And the table of contents can tell me where to find different places in the book. So I think that's probably the table of contents. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and do 5.2 again. Make sure you're trying your absolute hardest. Please make sure that you're actually using page 1.4a if you're confused. This should be a very easy assignment. So please make sure you're doing your best and completing it correctly. Make sure you have all of it completed. The only things you don't need to do are chart and map, which should already be crossed out for you. If they're not, make sure you cross it out on 5.2. Just chart and map. Everything else you need to do. So make sure you're going through and doing every other one because some people didn't even finish it yesterday. So we really need to make sure we're actually trying on our assignments and working as hard as we can. All right? You guys can do it. If you have any questions, please let me know. And then make sure you turn it in too, guys. All right.